Of course,
Yes.
there's a $1 bounty on my head, so it might have guys
Yes, and
that,
they're definitely aiming for that.
well, they might be just looking for the karma buck.
Gosh, I really wish that I could stream on Twitch. This is just I'm looking at this and ah,
Yeah, of course
I love it.
you have the Philippines. You were telling me before has very poor internet and very slow speeds. So it makes it like nearly impossible or next to impossible to do things like live streaming.
Yes, when it comes to the home service packages, I'm sure just like most other countries, they have the home plans and then the business plans or the commercial plans. Like the only way that you could get a satisfactory stream here is if you're to go with a business plan, and then they'll give you like upwards to maybe 10 or 15 megabytes download speed, but it's gonna cost you a couple of $100, and it's
Wow.
just so sick because yeah, I know, and that is it's really bad quality internet, but they increase the price because the market is cornered. There's no other place to go. They basically have this one umbrella company that handles all these different brands. There's like a total of four or three main internet providers here, but they're under different brand names. So, you know, the consuming public, majority of them don't know that it's owned by one umbrella company, and they're able to just, you know, do what they want with the prices because there's nowhere else to go. Hey, if you want better internet, go abroad, go to Singapore, go to Hong Kong. But if you want to stay here in the Philippines, yeah, you're gonna pay the price and bend over. Yeah.
I made two donk bets there in an earlier hand and got called, so I lost a lot. And now I'm completely dominated with Ace Queen against Ace King. So I think oh, I've hit the Queen on the river. Can you believe that? So I've doubled up again.
Yes.
Um,
That right back in it. Right back
that
in it.
420 was very unlucky not to get the karma dollar there.
Yes. Now it. Uh, I remember one time I was railing a Sunday Million. This is like way back in 2010, 2011, and I was watching one of Daniel Negreanu's games, and there was these two high stakes MTTers that were getting involved in a pot, and they got it in Ace Queen versus Ace King, and the person that lost with Ace Queen said something isn't right here. How could have I not won that? How could have I not won that pot? There must be a glitch, and I don't. Maybe he's just insinuating that hey, maybe because there's that conception of the bad beats online and everything, and that they happen more frequently. Well, of course they're gonna happen more frequently online, and it's because you're seeing more hands, and it's all a matter of perception. If you're gonna see that just as many bad beats or more bad beats online, you're gonna see more winning pots online.
For
People
sure.
get so fixated on the negative, and what ends up happening is they just remember the most strenuous or most depressing pot that they lost the majority of the time. But what about all the monster pots that led you up to build your bankroll to begin with?
You're right.
Yeah,
It's
it's
the
just a
way your brain is wired.
yes, it's all a mindset. I'm sure Jared Tendler, one of our previous guests on the PSO podcast, would elaborate on it. But yeah, it is all a mindset, and it just has to do with what they value most as a poker player. And I'm not talking about value betting. Value betting is, of course, valuing money. But when you attach just nothing but significance to money, because, money is basically the perception of people measuring their success based on their bankroll. But there's many different areas of poker where you could have had successes, both from like an emotional intelligence standpoint, adjusting to different player dynamic standpoint, your strategy and approach towards the game standpoint, and those are all different successes in their own right. You just got to ride it out and play through the variance. There's going to be different
I'm all in here
board
again, Cannon.
textures. Yeah.
But
Your
I'm looking
pardon?
good. Yeah, I've doubled up again. I was down to about 10 big blinds and I pushed it all in with 8-7 suited. I got a call from, I think it was Ace 10, I think it was. But I managed to flop a good draw and a pair, I think, two on the flop. So it's all good.
Yes, from what I see, because over here my internet is just lagging. What I see is 7-3 offsuits, and you're sitting on a stack of 1,164 chips. So I'm sure that I'm well behind on the actual 2-minute lag.
No, you might be that far behind. I had two double
Okay.
ups, kind of in quick succession.
All right, all right. And I also see, is there still 11 players left in the tournament?
Yep.
Okay, 11.
There's PokerStars have this thing running at the moment too called PokerStars Makes Millionaires, and they have those little all-in shootout missions available. I don't know if you've tried your hand at any of them.
Oh no, I have yet to try my hand at it, but when I was playing the Spin and Goes earlier, I saw on the $5 Spin and Go tab that they had it marked with a diamond and 1 million. So they're also running that promo where they're gonna make 5 millionaires, and the $5 Spin and Go happens to be one of the game formats that they'll be awarding $1 million to the winner to. I was able to witness the very first Spin and Go millionaire
Sweet.
a few months back. I watched
Yeah,
it
I
play
think
live.
I remember that. Two more came in quick succession. I think there was three Spin and Go millionaires within a short space of time.
Yes, and that's going to be a promo that I'd love for them to keep running. For an investment of $5, and then you make $1 million.
It's unreal.
Yes, it is unreal. I mean, think about it. This is probably something that happened to them. One day they're just sitting at home watching television, watching some soccer or some F1 racing, and then they see an advert for PokerStars, and it's either Daniel Negreanu or Rafael Nadal, the tennis player, and they highlight this deposit bonus. Hey, if you deposit now, you'll get X percentage on top of your bonus. Then they're like, oh hey, I'm gonna go ahead and try my hand at poker. I used to play it growing up when I was a teenager in the kitchen, or maybe even with my friends after school. And then they register for their first Spin and Go, and then boom, they hit that $1 million. I mean, and then just jump through the roof. Like, I remember when I first started playing poker, I saw an advert for the Filipino Poker Tour, and it was Daniel Negreanu mucking pocket kings. He tossed his pocket kings into the muck on the commercial, and he was beat because he knew his opponent had aces, and it just showed how baller and how sick of a soul reader he was. And I went and tried my hand at Play Money, and I tried it at Free Rolls, and I went to a local internet cafe to do it. And ever since then, I've been playing poker, not just because of the actual commercial itself, but through the different feelings I felt at the table. Like, I remember the first time I was dealt pocket kings or pocket aces, I really didn't know what to do with them. It's like my heart just leaped out of my chest. You know that song from Madonna? Like a virgin.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I was just like that at the table. My heart was just my
Heart was
just
pounding.
Yes, I remember that. But now I'm far from that. I get dealt pocket aces, and I just look at them like, ugh, how can I extract value? Who should I be playing a pot with on these hands? Can I play anybody at this table who's most likely going to be playing a pot with me? All right, how much can I adjust my raise and bet sizings? Have they been observant of bet sizings and raise sizings? And it's just amazing on how you factor in over time all these different variables into each play that you make, and it just comes second nature. Unlike before, it's just like, oh, I got aces, how many chips can I get into the pot, and let's hope I get called.
Something else is amazing is happening later on today on PokerStars. Well, I think it's starting in about 5 minutes. It's the Sunday Storm 4th anniversary tournament. So I'm registered in that one as well. I'd say there'd be a huge amount of entries, but I think there's 4 million added to the prize pool. I don't know if I'm right in saying that, but I think maybe 1 million to the winner for an $11 buy-in.
$11 buy-in? Wait. This is the Sunday Storm or the Sunday Million?
The Sunday Storm. It's the 4th anniversary
okay,
tournament.
the Sunday Storm. Okay, the Sunday Storm. Those large field MTTs. Yeah. Yes.
PSO ran a promotion for it too, where we gave away 200 tickets to it.
Yes, and we also gave away Sunday Storm tickets during the PSO podcast. Last time I looked, there was like 27,000 people registered in the Sunday Storm itself for the anniversary.
Is that for today? That's today's tournament.
27,000. Okay, yeah, but it'd be safe to say even if there was 10 or 100,000 people that registered for the Sunday Storm anniversary, the field size is going to dwindle down so fast, because you need to take into account, all of the different players that came from all various different format, stakes, and buy-in levels. Having a congregation of not just poker to battle it out for first place, but at the same time, people overvaluing what would be deemed as a marginal spot early on in the tournament, just because, they don't know any better. To fold top pair, weak kicker, sitting, like 50 or 100 big blinds deep. And what ends up happening is, the field would dwindle down within the first hour. I wouldn't be surprised if a quarter of the field drops in the first hour.
Yep.
And then, as the succeeding hours come, you're just going to see them, drop like flies, because the blinds and the price of poker will also increase.
It's going to be a minefield for sure, and I think you get a lot of the more experienced players that will sit very, very tight for the first few levels. They'll probably try and not get involved in too many hands, especially when there's not much to fight over with small pots. And they'll probably also, they'll definitely not be playing marginal hands.
Yes, definitely not. They say, there's that quote, poker is a marathon, not a sprint. And one of the misconceptions of a lot of players is to acquire as many chips as I possibly can as early on in the tournament. That way I can sit on a cushion. But what ends up happening is, let's say that the starting stack was 5K, and then you amassed a huge stack of 50,000. That stack of 50,000 chips isn't really going to mean much 2 hours into the tournament. What I'm getting at is, if you could hover around average stack majority of the tournament, it would be great. But at the same time, it would be great to also amass a huge stack, but do so playing smart. Work smart, not hard. That's the best way to put it. Work smart, not hard. Meaning, don't put yourself in a lot of difficult or hard spots where you would normally fold just because you want to gamble it up. Just be very calculated and assertive in your approach, and that will help ensure that you at least min cash. I mean, that's not your main objective every time you play a tournament. When you have that mindset of, hey, I just want to min cash and at least make my buy-in back with a little bit of profit, that right there, you're already accepting defeat. You should already have it in your mind that, hey, how am I going to strategize and effectively lay about the tactics, based on observing this table of how I can exploit them and run as deep as I possibly can. Now, that's a different mindset. That's a huge approach and a shift towards what you should actually be doing. I believe that's a valuable skill that I learned from transitioning from the Open League to the Premier League of the PSO way back in the day.
And how used to you get on in the Premier League? Like, what would have been your biggest score in the Premier League?
Monthly, $50. And that's not a bad score. $50 is the largest score. There's been a lot of times where I was within contention of, like the top 20 or top 10, and then what ends up happening is I just stay hovering around that spot, and then the people that are already in the top 20 end up getting some sick, deep runs, within the last week and a half of the league, and then they end up taking the top spots, and I just end up going, down the actual ladder of pay jumps, which is fine. That's how it goes, because I've tried so many different strategies, and
have you found a huge difference in skill between the Open and the Premier?
Yes, the difference in skill is just like night and day. Let's put it this way. In order for people to get into the skill league, you need to place, what was it, in the top not the top 100, the top 1,000, right? or is
yeah,
it more?
so